Good evening and Ramadan Kareem to you all. I'm your host, Bara Abdallah, here to bring you a great line of segments featuring local talents, initiatives, and events from around the kingdom as we celebrate the holy month of Ramadan. So stay tuned, we'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, besides fasting, Ramadan is full of fashion and styling. It has its own fashion and clothes, from jalabiyas to more. So let's get to know more what's trending with Hadil Nuruddin. Well, good evening. How are you?
Good evening. Thank you for having me. I'm good. How are you?
I am super excited to know what's happening here with fashion and what's trending and all of that. So, now tell us more about the fashion with Ramadan. It has a different color, a different feel, different vibe. What's happening there?
Well, when it comes to the trends nowadays, specifically in spring, let's talk about spring. Mainly the ones that are the trends that we see around are bright colors, specific textures, bold colors, bold patterns, floral. So I thought of bringing that to our culture Ramadan. So when it comes to even our collection, you will find bold colors, you'll find patterns, you'll find florals, you'll find textures, you'll find it all within our collection as well.
I love that. I love that. So do you take time just to study those patterns to see what works and what doesn't? Or is it just there in the culture?
Well, when we do plan our collection, we kind of go firstly to the fabric store. We look at everything, and that's when the inspiration happens. That's where we find something and it inspires us. Okay, let's put this in this piece, or let's put that fabric in this piece. So this is kind of how we plan our collection. Sometimes it just comes. It depends. Like sometimes it just comes to me. Sometimes it takes a while for it to come. So it's all kind of depends.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's talk more about the inspirational points here. So, are there certain places you go to beside the fabric store, like maybe a garden, a restaurant, a coffee shop, an art gallery? Do you do that? Or maybe even you go on TikTok and see what's happening? What inspires you?
Yes, of course, when I look through, let's say, the international brands, so when we talk about, let's say, Chanel, Fendi, like when we're looking at those fashion shows, that's also where sometimes I get inspired.
Wow.
But it's mainly the fabric store, mainly our shop. So even, like for example, when I want to speak about one of the pieces that's displayed here, I was just hanging my items when I put one of my see-through pieces in front of a white gown. So when I looked at it, it just happened like that. So when I looked at it, I thought, okay, why not have a piece with the white under piece, and it's gonna bring it out. So I thought, why not do that? And that's when, like, just by accidentally hanging our items, it just came up. So I thought of that, and then my cousin actually asked me if she can buy the item but with the black under piece. So I thought, okay, why not sell both? So why not have an item with two under pieces, one black and one white, and two shaylas, one white and one black. So with one purchase, she gets to have several looks.
Right.
So it just came, like that idea specifically, it just came up by hanging my items in the store. So it just kind of happens. It just happens. So sometimes it takes me a while. There's no inspiration. I have to think of something. But sometimes when it does, it's one of those special moments.
Thank you so much for sharing. I mean, that was like, it could be, like you said, any moment. I'm just hanging my clothes and like,
why not?
And it clicks just like that.
Exactly.
Love that.
Exactly.
Now, from collection, inspirations, now let's say you got inspired. Now comes to actually designing it. And comes to the textile. So let's say that moment where you got inspired by the two layers, a see-through and a shayla, and the two layers design. Do you go straight to the drawing board and you draw it? Do you explain this to your cousins and to your family? What's the process behind it?
I go straight to the tailor.
Okay.
Firstly, straight to the tailor. So there's the fabric, there's the underpiece. Put them together. This is what I have in mind, and it just happens. So it's kind of tricky. So because when the idea comes up, it's like I don't always have access to the tailor right away. So I kind of have to like tell it to other people just in case I don't forget it. Just in case I forget it, so I have to tell my mom, I have to tell my family, because they're also involved in the business. It's not just me. So my mom is actually, this is like, my mom started the brand about 20 years ago under a different name. Yes, I was 2 years old. So so when it came to the store, she had it all. It was under a different name, but she had it all my life, basically.
Wow.
So just about 2 years ago, that's when we decided to rebrand it and take it to the next level. We opened an Instagram account. We opened our social media accounts. We went to exhibitions. So this is where we kind of just took it. The quality was there, like the creativity was there. We just needed it to expose it. We needed to take it to a different level. So that's when we all sat down as a family and thought, okay, this, like, we have a gem here. Let's just expose it. Let's just show people that we actually have something special.
Exactly. This is so beautiful. This is so beautiful. Since you were 2 years old and your mom was in this creative world altogether, and she got you exposed, and you were just exposed to it year after year, and now you have all this knowledge in you, and you want to rebrand it. So what was it called before the rebranding?
It was called Azalea.
Azalea.
Yeah, Azalea Boutique. Yeah, it's still a beautiful name, but we thought we'll take it to like, let's just, since we're rebranding, let's just change it completely. So let's not stick to the past, like, let's focus on the present and the future. So that's when we decided, like, okay, let's change everything about it, and except for the quality, of course.
And the new name is?
Appliqué.
Appliqué. What does appliqué means?
Appliqué, it's a French word. It's a type of stitching.
Okay.
So it's related to fabric, it's related to fashion. So we thought it's a unique name. Why not? Like, appliqué is a different name.
It's a beautiful story. So now Appliqué is a family business, I would say, with all your family. So you sit down like every day and you talk about designs, you fight, you compliments, like, oh, this is beautiful. It's like, no, it's not, and that kind of stuff. And you just come in. So I would say Appliqué right now is just a product of a beautiful family coming together, bring creativity to the world.
Definitely.
Wow, I love that.
This is what makes it special. It's a family product. It's a family effort. It's a family. It's all about, you know, like coming together and creating something special. And this is exactly what Appliqué is all about.
Amazing, amazing. So I'm guessing it's definitely your mom, your aunties, your cousins, and all coming together.
They're all coming together. Actually, my grandmother, before she passes away, she was into this world as well. So I would go over to her room, and then I'd find her stitching things. I'd find her tailoring pieces. I'd find her creating different things. So I grew up in this environment. I grew up in the whole, like, textile, the fashion, the clothing. Like, this is how I grew up.
Amazing. I mean, God rest her soul. I'm sure she'll be super proud if she was here right now, watching you right now on TV. She will be like overjoyed. I'm sure of it.
Thank
beautiful, beautiful. So now, sit down with the family. Oh, to the tailor straight up, because he's not always there or accessible.
Of course.
And you come up with the idea. What about the fabric and the textile? Like, do different textile bring different kind of quality to your idea? I mean, how does it work?
Yeah, so there are definitely different fabric stores. You have the less expensive ones. You have the more expensive ones. You kind of just have to. It's tricky when it comes to finding the right quality, but not it being too pricey for us not to be able to sell it. That's also one of our difficulties here.
Right, it is a challenge.
Yes, we focus on quality so much. Like, we want to be able to produce the best clothing, the best piece, and it's difficult to balance between the budget and the quality, because sometimes you can find the best piece, you can find the best fabric, but it costs so and so, it costs a lot, so we won't be able to sell it later on. So it's also one of our our challenges within the business. So finding the right quality and finding the right pricing, so we can price it smartly and we can sell it smartly. So
wow, it's more than we actually know or understand. So when you see a certain design, it's like, oh, it's for this much price. It's like, why is it too expensive? Or was it too low? But people don't understand there's a lot going on behind the scenes. They're trying their best to bring quality to, to an average consuming behavior in Bahrain, but at the same time not to lose on that deal.
Exactly.
So it's a very thin line, right?
Because it's easy to go to any store and buy the cheapest fabric.
Right.
But it's not easy to kind of focus on the quality. It's not easy to find an affordable piece with the quality that we are aiming for as applique. So we don't want to just sell anything. We don't want to just give our consumers anything. We want them to be able to enjoy the piece for as long as they can. So we don't want it to be just a one-wear thing and let it go because it's ruined now. Or we don't want them to say throw it in the wash and then take it out. It's all teared up or whatever. So it's a difficulty, but we're working through it, and we're kind of getting there. Like we're learning. We're still learning, but we're kind of getting there. We're able to balance between both.
It is so interesting how you're telling the story, and it seems like not only just you have a beautiful family, but you have an R&D department. It's just like
Exactly.
we need to research, we need to make sure that the development is right and the right fabric, and we tried once or twice. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes just to create a beautiful design for people just to appreciate for the rest of their lives.
Exactly. So we want our consumers to be able to enjoy the piece for as long as they can.
Love that, love that.
Yeah.
Now, as you said, Ramadan, right? A beautiful month. And you bring all these designs together, and you have this beautiful collection we're going to talk about in a bit. But do you see yourself like the best way to go about it is not only through social media, but do you go to different events, different gatherings? How does it work?
We do. We did also join an exhibition right before Ramadan, in which we were able to display our items, and it was very different from selling it online, because when you sell online, you don't. Yes, it's easy, but it's hard to portray. It's hard to show the consumer what the piece actually looks like and how it feels like. And the colors might look different on camera. It looks different in person. So it really was nice to be able to interact with our consumers. It was really nice for us to be able to show them the piece in person. It was really we enjoyed also getting the feedback, so we learned a lot from just by interacting with them. So some of the customers prefer certain necklines or prefer certain sleeve lengths, or they prefer certain colors, certain textures. So this is also something that we learned in exhibitions, and it was such a learning experience for us, and also within the different vendors, so not just us as a business, but even other businesses as well. We were pleasantly surprised to see how friendly the environment is and how it wasn't an aggressive sort of competition between each business, each vendor. It was very friendly, and it was refreshing to kind of see.
That is good to hear. It's actually really good to hear. It's beautiful,
It's a friendly
everybody, sharing their thoughts and complimenting and having a friendly vibe. It's very good to know.
It's a very friendly vibe. So that's also something that we were pleasantly surprised with. We were very happy to have that kind of environment instead of like an aggressive competition. It wasn't that at all. It was very friendly, which was very nice to see.
Great. Now, from each Ramadan to another Ramadan, are there certain patterns that will always sell, or do you have to always, come up with something new and something more creative? Like, let's say from last Ramadan to this Ramadan, what changed when it comes to fashion?
When it comes to fashion, certain cuts, certain designs have changed. But when it comes to the fabric itself, we noticed that no matter what the weather is in Bahrain, everyone wants to look for the softest, for the coldest fabric they can wear. So it doesn't matter if it's winter or summer. Like they want, let's say, for example, cottons. They want to wear linens. They want to wear those lighter fabrics, those colder fabrics. This is also something that we noticed in the exhibition. So when the customers look through, they'll find a cotton piece and they'll think, oh wow, this is a very cold fabric. This is a very comfortable fabric. We'd want to buy this. Oh, this is a nice fabric. We want to buy this. And we noticed the heavier things they would only get if they have certain events, let's say. But on a daily basis. So for example, Ramadan, during Futur, they want to wear lighter things. They want to wear, simpler things. But when they go for later events, dinners or whatever, they can wear the heavier items, but we still notice that they mostly want the lighter fabrics, the classic ones like the cottons and the linens.
Interesting. Do you think consumers became smarter? Like in the last few Ramadans, they know what they're looking at, they know the kind of fabric they're gonna buy, they ask you different kind of questions. Did things change with the consumers?
Yeah, they did. They do ask us, like for even when we're selling online, because they don't see the fabric, they don't see the piece in front of them. So they would ask, what's the fabric? Is it cotton? Is it linen? So when we give them a different, like a warmer fabric, for example, silk, they would tend to stay away from it because it's a hot sort of fabric. It's not a cold fabric. So this is how they would buy online. That's how they would know, because they don't see the fabric in front of them. So this is how they would ask us, is it cotton? Is it linen? So it's always the classic fabrics. It's always the same fabrics that they would be looking for.
Amazing, amazing. Things are interestingly changing, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Now, all this talk about the fashion and all of that, and we're seeing some beautiful things happening here with a beautiful collection. So if you would show us a little bit of what's happening here and tell us a little bit about your designs.
Yes, of course. I want to start with the piece that I spoke about.
Yes, that was very inspirational.
The 3-in-1 sort of abaya.
Yes.
This is it. So this is the fabric that I was talking about, the see-through fabric. We were hanging it in front of a white gown. So this is where I came up with the white underpiece. This is how, and you can see it brought it more out. You can see the textures, while if it was a black underpiece, you won't be able to see the lines, you won't be able to see the details, the textures. So, and then when my cousin asked us for a black underpiece, that's when we thought, okay, we can have both. Like, why not have, why just sell one?
Yes.
Let's just sell this piece, the underpiece, and another black underpiece, in which they can change. Like you can see here, we've got buttons where you can attach the underpiece with the abaya itself, and you can take it off whenever. And
really creative, really brilliant.
So it can be worn in 3 different looks. So we thought, why not get it that creative?
Why not? And that was because you were just hanging clothes, and it just happened.
I was just hanging my, exactly. So this is what I mean when I say, oh, sometimes it just happens, sometimes it doesn't.
Great imagination, that's for sure.
Yeah. So we also have this piece. This is a piece that also can be worn in different ways. There's the underpiece, the blue underpiece. It's a short sleeved underpiece. It can be worn alone with the customer can wear it with different accessories to make it a different look. It can be worn with the belt only, and it can be worn with the top piece. And it can create a whole separate look. And even they can play around with the belt. The belt can be worn with the underpiece. It can be worn on top of the whole thing and create a different cut. So
they can play with this.
Yes, we made it in a way so our customer plays with it. So instead of buying one item, they can buy. It's like they buy one item with several different looks.
This is very smart. You do have an R&D department.
It's all here.
It's all there.
It's all here. This is also a piece in which this is the sort of fabric which people like to purchase during Ramadan. So because it gives them a brighter sort of girgaon vibe. So they can, you know, it's just a bright color, like a something that they can wear, you know, with their jewelry, with everything that they own. So it's kind of, you know, it's very festive. It's for one of those dinners, like heavier dinners, instead of being it's futur. So for example, we also have a piece, the cotton.
Ooh,
so the demanded cotton. Floral fabric. We also played around with the cut, so even if they go down for futur, they can still feel dressy, because it's a light fabric, it's a very comfortable fabric, but it's also dressy when it comes to the different cuts.
And very creative. That's a creative cut right there.
Thank you very much. So we also have a piece in which one sleeve is different and the other sleeve is different. It can be worn as it is, or with the belt, and when worn with the belt, it creates a different sort of cut. So this is also a pattern when it comes to our clothing. They can be worn in different ways.
I can see that.
So they're not purchasing one item they're purchasing. Sorry?
Is there a name for your designs?
We do have different names actually. Thank you for bringing that up because I forgot to mention that our collection is called Sukoon.
Sukoon.
So Sukoon as in inner peace, inner comfort,
calmness.
and this is what you feel during the holy month. Our different pieces, they're synonyms for inner peace. So for example, the one I'm wearing is restful. We have pieces that are called peace. We have a piece that's called tranquility, serenity. So they all reflect how you would feel during Ramadan. This is it's the month of calmness. It's the month of inner peace. It's the month where you would pray, you would read Quran, and you would feel this sort of serenity. And this is how we try to reflect it within our pieces. So this is
Sukoon.
So this is Sukoon, exactly. Sukoon by Applique.
Sukoon, wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful name, and each design has a name to it.
Yes.
And playing between Arabic and English is just beautiful. And I just love the fact that certain cuts you can actually play with it, you know, and goes here and there. Wow. You have a very creative family.
Thank you
really
very much.
do that.
Thank you.
And I love the collection, Sukoon. And I can only imagine the next collections, what they're gonna be like. I mean, if that's what you can do, imagine the future. You know, you get smarter and more creative with your work. Now, it seems you are so in tune with the community. It's not like you would design something and just push it out there. You actually listen and you want to be a part of the community. And I'm just guessing that you do a lot of activities for the community, I would say.
Yes, we actually do have with every month we choose a certain charity. We choose a certain group in which we would donate 10% of our sales to that specific group. So it's not just during the month of Ramadan, it's all year round. Every month we would choose a different charity. So this way we can give sort of an opportunity for our consumers to buy our items as well as give back to their own community. So we're kind of we're trying to give back as much as we can.
Well, bless you and your family.
Thank you very much.
Really bless your brand. And
Sukoon,
I'm still like, wow, this is beautiful. I can only imagine inner peace, like the amount of time I can just imagine sitting down and it's like, this is gonna be tranquility, salam, peace, serenity, and we're gonna call it all what? Sukoon. Like, wow, this is so. Did you copyright it?
I should. I really should.
It's too good. It's too good. Just go and just copyright it right there.
Thank you very
much.
much.
Now, you came from a beautiful lineage, a beautiful heritage, a beautiful family line that came in with such creativity throughout time and history, and now it's all with you and your family. Where do you see yourself heading with all of this?
I'm trying my best to take it not just within Bahrain, within the Gulf, even globally, because when it comes to our heritage, I want to expose it as much as I can, because we have a beautiful history. As Bahrainis, we have beautiful history. We've got beautiful, our heritage is it's one of the most beautiful I've known. So I would love for us to be able to take it globally. I would like to introduce it to other communities, to other cultures, because it really deserves to be exposed like that. So this is one of my main goals, is for me to bring Bahrain to all different cultures, to all different countries.
Beautiful. Well said.
Thank you
well
very
said.
much. Thank you.
Now, if you would give us an advice right now, something for, I would say, the other Hadils out there who are looking up to you right now and to your beautiful family, what would be that advice that you want to give to everybody who can actually reach out to your beautiful creativity and consistency and giving back to the community?
Patience. This is something that I haven't had, especially when I first started. I wanted everything to happen very quickly. I wanted to release everything quickly, and I want them to be sold within a couple of days. Like, I wanted everything to happen so quickly, but it's not realistic, especially for a startup. So when you're just being introduced to the industry, you kind of have to take your time, especially when there's so many other businesses, so much competition. So you can't just expect things to just happen. So not just for our clothing for clothing businesses out there, for all businesses, anyone who wants to start, you have to have patience. We're still, as as a fresh business ourselves,
Right.
especially the rebranded business, we're still kind of waiting for that moment to happen. So we still have our. I'm still impatient, so this is something I'm learning myself. So I have to be patient. I have to wait for good things to happen, because good things take time.
Well, good things do show up beautifully, like you just showed us right now with Sukoon. And
you.
if you're still waiting for good things to happen, I'm like, wow, what else? This is too beautiful. And I can only imagine the future was going to be with you and your family.
There's
so
so much more to come.
I'm sure of it.
Inshallah.
I'm sure of it. Next Ramadan, we're going to see even another collection, I guess.
Of course.
Definitely.
Of course.
Well, Hadil, thank you so much for being part with us right here on Bahrain Now. And this has been a beautiful delight, a Sukoon delight, if I may say.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Pleasure is all ours. Most definitely.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it yourself. Be patient and good things will approach you. All that took place in an interview with Hadil right here on Bahrain Now. Well, everyone, I hope you all enjoyed that episode as much as I did. Don't forget to reach out to us on our social media accounts shown below. And stay tuned for more happenings right here on Bahrain Now. I'm Bara Abdallah. Till next time, Bahrain, good night and God bless.